All right. Hello, Rick, Gregory, Jay. How's audio, video, internet connection, all that? Hello, Gretchen. All right, thank you. Hello, Sky. I hope everybody is doing well today. Hope you're holding up and that painful feeling is not to be seen. Hello, Karuna. As usual, we'll give it a few minutes for people to load in before we start. Welcome to those joining. If you're joining for the first time, feel free to say hello in the chat. Hello, Dharma learner. Welcome. Good start in about a minute or so. Hello, Visaka. I hope Abigail and the kids are doing well. And yourself, obviously. I'm doing well. Not too bad. Things are mostly okay. All right, let's get started. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Apakkate manusesu ye jana paragamino attayang itara pajatira meva nudavati ye chako sammadakate dhamme dhamma nuvattino te jana parame santi machudeyang sudutturang kanhang dhammang vippahaya sukhang bhaveta pandito oka anoka magamma viveke yatta duramang tatra birati mitcheya hitva kameya kinchano periyodapeya attanang chitta klese pandito ye sang sambuddhi angesu sammachittang subhavating Dvitang adana patina sagge anupadaya yerata kina sava jutti manto te loke parinibbuta. Alright, English. Those who cross over. There are few among humans who go to the further shore. The rest of them run about here on this shore. But those well established in Dhamma, those who practice Dhamma, are among those who will cross over beyond the realm of death so difficult to escape. Abandoning the way of darkness, cultivating the bright, the wise go from home to homelessness, which for others is hard to enjoy. Desiring that rare delight, renouncing pleasure, owning nothing of defilements of the mind, the wise person should cleanse himself. Those whose minds are well established in the factors of enlightenment relinquish attachments and delight not in clinging. They, untainted and radiant in this very world, attain Nibbana. Sadhu. Good evening, Jayantha. Alright, friends, it is Monday night, and that means it's time for another festival of Dhamma with the Maggasekha community. It's time for Dhammapalooza. Each Dhammapalooza is different because it is community guided. Sometimes we have lots of questions, sometimes we have no questions, and we read suttas. Or we play games like Sutta Roulette, Word Roulette, things like that, where we explore suttas in various different ways. And later on we do some meditation, and who knows what else we can do. Because, as I said, it is community guided. So that being said, in the chat for the next couple of minutes, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. If you have any topics you'd like me to give a talk on, you can put them in the chat. If you have any topics you'd like the community to discuss, you can put them in the chat. And if nobody has anything, well, there's always a sutta in the back pocket. So there's always something sutta related to do if there's nothing else. Rick already gave a question, so I can work on that, and if you have any questions or topics, you can type those as I'm working on Rick's. Bhante, lab results indicate that one of my chronic illnesses have gotten worse. What are skillful ways to practice with grief due to body breaking down because of illness? What are ways to be at peace as we face the possibility we may no longer be able to maintain the life we have created? Well, this is a matter of impermanence, isn't it? This is a matter of understanding impermanence. We kind of take basic things for granted. It's kind of like, for instance, from a young age, I've had a fear of going blind. And from a young age, I've practiced, like, okay, what would it be like if I couldn't see? Like, and I, go around and things like that. And it's kind of like a coping mechanism. It's like, in case I ever go blind, I don't want to, And I look at it, there's some fear and anxiety related to that, but there's also a kind of, yeah, that is possible. Maybe I should actually do something. Maybe I should kind of train myself and see how I might be able to change the way I live in such a way that the loss of whatever you're losing will not make my life horribly worse. You're losing one thing, but are you losing everything? What are the things you have to adjust and adapt to because of something getting worse, your illness getting worse? Right? There are many things that happen in life that we kind of don't have much say over. And so it's like when in the Pabatopamu Sutta, when the mountains are closing in, what do? Practice Dhamma and do good deeds. Right? When things are closing in, you have to decide how you're going to act. You have to decide how you're going to live your life. And the older you get, the sicker you get, avenues of your life that you were used to having that maybe you took for granted, or maybe you kind of wish always stayed around, well, they go away. Now, this is something especially, people experience as they get older in general. So it's a matter of, how do you want to adapt and adjust your life? It's very easy for most people to kind of fall into a despair, fall into a depression. But eventually you're going to die. And until that point, things are not going to be added. You're not going to gain. Like all of a sudden I have super hearing or super eyesight. That's not how that works. It only degrades. That's entropy in the arrow of time. Maybe you might get some technology or whatever. They might give you some robot eyes or something like that. But in general, the slope is towards degradation. And so reflecting on that and adjusting your life, to that reality is a skillful thing. You have to figure out your new life. And this is something even common that doesn't even necessarily have to do with illness as you get older. Like I've been having conversations with my father about this. He's 74. His wife, my mother, died 3 months ago. He's kind of figuring out his new life, right? And he's also getting older, and so there's things that he would like to do that he's having trouble doing, and all these kind of things. This is a kind of normal reality of life as we get older. And when we get sick, we have chronic illnesses and things like that, we're experiencing that at an earlier age. But having to let go of ways of living that we got used to in the past is part of living. So you have to figure out, do you want to fall apart, or do you want to take this as a challenge and figure out a new way? Hello, Gayatri. I will be staying at a monastery during Katina. What has been your experience of how lay people are involved in the event? Well, because you have so graciously, hopefully maybe even are staying a little bit after, since you're going to be staying, you will be put to work the whole day for multiple days. That's how it goes. Because not only are lay people going to be doing that, the monks are going to be doing that as well. Setting up for Vesak, setting up for Katina, taking down for Vesak and Katina, all of that's a lot of work. No matter where you go, setting up tents and setting up this and that and preparing for 100, 200, whatever, how many people are going to come. It's a lot of work. So you can expect to have to do a lot of work. That's what you can expect. Just listen to the monks and the work bosses or whoever's leading it, and enjoy the experience. I will actually be at a katina, and I'll probably end up having to help because that's how it goes. Because I'm going to be at Karuna Buddhist Vihara's katina in California, so I'm going to be there in person. I've been there in person once. I've been on the Zoom a couple times because they always like me to be part of their events. So I will also be hard working to set up a katina. That's just the way it goes. Alright. Sky says, what is the fear of Buddhist statues with Christian followers? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they see an altar and they see it as a kind of like worshiping the golden calf, like the Jews and under Moses and things like that, right? It's kind of like worshiping another god in a way. I guess they may see it that way. Gregory says, if Lord, such a great peril should arise, the human state being so hard to obtain, what else should there be done but Dhamma conduct, right conduct, skillful deeds, meritorious deeds? Yes, I love that. Risaka says, on the 25th, it will be the 12-year anniversary of your mom's death and 10 years of your grandson. Please provide a blessing. Yeah, send me an email. Send me a message on the 25th, and I'll do that. All right. Looks like we've come to the end of questions. Maybe we'll read a sutta. Actually, you know what? Let's instead of just reading a sutta, let's do some word roulette, however you want to say it. So how this works is this. We use Sutta Central, which I'll bring up here. And I will call, I'll say, put one word. Obviously, not a somewhat nice word, at least, I trust everybody here. Nobody's going to say, like, put bad words or whatever. But you type in a word, and then we put it in and we see what suttas arise. This is a fun one because it tends to, not only suttas, but also monastic vinaya, which is another thing that we've done before. And it tends to bring up some interesting suttas and interesting monastic rules. So I like doing it, this one, the word one. So let me make the barrier. So in 3, 2, 1, type one word, just one word. And don't make me delete you. Toenail? I don't know about toenail. I don't know how that's going to go here. Nails, probably. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin. Tacho I'm trying to the font. Tacho Nakadanta. I'm trying to remember the Pali. It'll come to me. It's been a while since I looked it up. Had to say it. Okay, so we'll type in toenail. See, yeah, I knew that was going to come up first. Yeah, that looks like it's the only thing that comes up. A fingernail. No toenails, which is not a surprise. Lots of jatakas. Let's read this. This is I suspected this was going to come up. It's probably not the one that I use a lot, but let's see. So I have heard. At one time, the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove and Natapindika's monastery. Then the Buddha, picking up a little dirt under his fingernail, addressed the mendicants. What do you think, mendicants? Which is more, the little bit of dirt under my fingernail or this great earth? Sir, the great earth is far more. This little bit of dirt under your fingernail is tiny. Compared to the great earth, it's not nearly 100th, 1,000th, or 100,000th part. In the same way, for a noble disciple accomplished in view, a person with comprehension, the suffering that's over and done with is more. What is left is tiny. Isn't that a beautiful imagery? Just like the great earth, somebody who has become a stream enterer, the suffering that's left is like a fingernail worth of dirt compared to the great earth. That's beautiful. Compared to the massive suffering in the past that's over and done with, it's not nearly 100th, 1,000th, 100,000th part, since there are at most 7 more lives. That is how very beneficial it is to comprehend the teaching and gain the vision of the teaching. That's a beautiful sutta. There's my other favorite one that I like to talk about is how the Buddha picked up a little bit of dung in his fingernail. And he said, Bhikkhus, I do not approve of even this much of samsara. So it kind of goes against the whole, like, sticking around in samsara for one reason or another. It's like, I don't even approve of this little much. Buddha doesn't approve of anything in samsara. Basically, get out as soon as you can. Right? That's the Buddha's message there. But I think that's good. That's good enough for the fingernail. Death. Well, death, that's going to be an easy one. I'm sure mindfulness of death 1 and 2 is probably going to come up first. But let's check it out. Ah, let's see. Interesting. What do we have here? We have Anguttara Nikaya. The chapter on one person. One person, mendicant, arises in the world for the welfare and happiness of the people, out of sympathy for the world, for the benefit, welfare, and happiness of gods and humans. What one person? The realized one, the perfected one, the fully awakened Buddha. This is the one person, mendicant, who arises in the world. Let's see. The death of one person, mendicants, is regretted by many people. What one person? The realized one, the perfected one, the fully awakened Buddha. This is the one person, mendicants, whose death is regretted by many people. Let's read this one, freedom from death. Oh, this is a bunch of different ones. Mendicants, those who don't enjoy mindfulness of the body don't enjoy freedom from death. Those who enjoy mindfulness of the body enjoy freedom from death. And of course, this is an obvious allusion to the Dhammapada under heedfulness, Appamada section, right? The Buddha says, those who are heedful are close to the deathless. Those who are heedless are close to death. Heedfulness is close to the deathless. Heedlessness is close to death. Those who are heedful never die. Those who are heedless are as if dead already. Right? This is an allusion to this wonderful thing. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what else comes up when we get to dirt, Jay. So, mendicants, those who haven't enjoyed mindfulness of the body haven't enjoyed freedom from death. Those who have enjoyed mindfulness of the body have enjoyed freedom from death. Those who have lost mindfulness of the body have lost freedom from death. Those who have missed out. Those who have neglected mindfulness of body have neglected freedom from death. It looks like this is a pretty typical end section where it's just repetition. What about a good death? Let's see. Let's read a good death. There, Sariputta addressed the mendicants. Reverends, mendicants, reverend, they replied. I don't like this, reverend. Avuso means like brother. Right? It's like brothers, bhikkhus, brothers. Brother, they replied. Sariputta said this: a mendicant lives life so as to not have a good a mendicant lives life so as to not have a good death. And how do they live life so as to not have a good death? Take a mendicant who relishes work, talk, sleep, company, closeness, and proliferation. They love these things and like to relish them. Yeah, and lay people might wonder, how can a monk relish work? Monks will, especially if they're kind of bored, they don't like kind of being by themselves in the woods and things like that, they'll find things to do. They will find things to do. That's just how it goes in monasteries. A mendicant who lives life like this does not have a good death. This is called a mendicant who enjoys substantial reality, who hasn't given up substantial reality to rightly make an end of suffering. A mendicant lives life so as to have a good death. And how do they live life so as to have a good death? They don't relish work, talk, sleep, company, closeness, and proliferation. They don't love these things or like to relish them. A mendicant who lives life like this has a good death. This is called a mendicant who delights in extinguishment, who has given up substantial reality to rightly make an end of suffering. A beast who likes to proliferate, enjoying proliferation, fails to win extinguishment, the supreme sanctuary from the yoke. But one who gives up proliferation, enjoying the state of non-proliferation, wins extinguishment, the supreme sanctuary from the yoke. All right, I think we've covered death enough. I'll move on to the next one. Kesa Loma. Once I saw Kesa, I knew it came right out. Kesa Loma Nakadanta Tacho. Yep. Yeah. This is when you become a samanera, when you have your pabaja, you're going forth. These are like the first 5 meditation objects that you're given by your preceptor. Kesa Loma Nakadanta Tacho. All right, so now we're up to dirt. Let's see. Let's see what comes up. Your own mind. Sachitta Sutta. At one time, the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There, the Buddha addressed the mendicants. Mendicants, venerable sir, they replied. See this word here, badante. Right, this word badante, you see this in the suttas, and this word is exclusively for the Buddha. What you also see in the suttas is that they use bante. Like, they didn't call each other bante. And the Buddha set that down as a rule in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta after his passing, after his parinibbana, that the junior monks will call the senior monks bante. But during the time of the Buddha's being alive, he was bante or badante. Badante is like a more reverential version of bante, essentially. I don't believe I've ever heard of that being used for any living monk. It's basically just for the Buddha. The Buddha said this: Mendicants, if a mendicant isn't skilled in the way of another's mind, then they should train themselves. I will be skilled in the ways of my own mind. Oh, huh. That's interesting. I wonder if this is, because how many times have you heard me say something effective like, if you know your own mind, you'll know the mind of others. Right? If one is not skilled in another's mind, they should train themselves. I will be skilled in the ways of my own mind. Let's see if it might be different. We'll see. And how is a mendicant skilled in the ways of their own mind? Suppose there was a woman or a man who was young, youthful, fond of adornments, and they check their own reflections in a clean, bright mirror, or a clean bowl of water. If they see any dirt or blemish they try to remove it. But if they don't see any dirt or blemish there, they're happy with that. And as they've got all they wished for, how fortunate that I'm clean. In the same way, checking is very helpful for a mendicant's skillful qualities. Am I covetousness or not? Am I often malicious or not? Am I often overcome with dullness and drowsiness or not? This is an interesting thing. It's kind of like the Buddha is basically saying, like, the average person, like, they're checking themselves in the mirror. They're saying, oh, it's like, how's my hair? How do I look? All these things, yada, yada, yada. The Buddha is basically saying you should basically do that, but for something that's actually important. Like, is your mind full of greed, hatred, and delusion or not? Right? Am I often overcome with dullness and drowsiness or not? Am I often restlessness or not? Am I often doubtful or not? Am I often irritable or not? Am I often corrupted in mind or not? Am I often disturbed in body or not? Am I often energetic or not? Am I often immersed in samadhi or not? And this is very similar to Chitta Nupassana, contemplation of mind, right, from Satipatthana. Suppose that upon checking, a mendicant knows this. I'm often covetousness, malicious, overcome with dullness and drowsiness, restlessness, doubtful, irritable, defiled in mind, disturbed in body, lazy and not immersed in samadhi. In order to give up those bad, unskillful qualities, they should apply intense enthusiasm, effort, zeal, vigor, perseverance, and mindfulness, and situational awareness. Suppose your clothes or head were on fire. In order to extinguish it, you'd apply intense enthusiasm, effort, zeal, vigor, perseverance, mindfulness, and situational awareness. In the same way, in order to give up those bad, unskillful qualities, that mendicant should apply intense enthusiasm. But suppose that, upon checking, a mendicant knows this. I'm often content, kind-hearted, free of dullness and drowsiness, calm, confident, loving, pure in mind, undisturbed in body, energetic and immersed in samadhi. Grounded on those skillful qualities, they should practice meditation further to end the defilements. Does it, Karuna? Does it? Sometimes there's busyness in the monastery, even when there really doesn't necessarily need to be. Sometimes. Hey, Gray. Good to see you. All right. So let's check one more thing with dirt, I suppose. But it's basically the same thing. It's mindfulness, right? If somebody sees that they have dirt, yeah, it's all the same thing. Suppose there's a woman or a man. Ooh, somebody's skin is fine and soft and dirt doesn't cling to it. That's from Chinese. It looks like the agamas. That sounds like a pretty neat trick, don't you think? You never get dirty. Transition. Alright, this might be interesting. I don't know what's going to come up here. Of the transition from one jhana to another, I have no. That looks. I guess that looks like Chinese agama, maybe. Yeah, not much comes up. Yeah, just background. Bird. There's a couple sutta, a couple similes that come to my mind for bird. Kulavaka Sutta. Okay, this is let's check out this one. Bird's nest. I don't. This one doesn't ring a bell. Oh. At Savatthi. Once upon a time, Mendicants, a battle was fought between the gods and the Titans. In that battle, the Titans won and the gods lost. Defeated, the gods fled north with the Titans in pursuit. Then Sakka, lord of the gods, addressed his charioteer Matali in verse. Matali, don't ram the birds' nests in the red silk cotton woods with your chariot pull. I'd rather give up our lives to the Titans than deprive these birds of their nests. Yes, Lord, replied Matali, and he turned the chariot back around with its team of 1,000 thoroughbreds. Then the Titans thought, now Sakka's chariots have turned back. The Titans will have to fight the gods a second time. Terrified, they retreated right away to the citadel of the Titans. And that's how Sakka came to win victory by principle. Right? The Titans thought that the retreat was a feint. They didn't want to fight. So just because Sakka didn't want to bother the birds, he wins a great victory. He snatches victory from the jaws of defeat, as they say. All right. I have heard that sutta before. Let's do at least one more. Let's do the dirt washer. This is an Ajahn Jeff translation. Interesting. Yeah, let's see Ajahn Jeff. There are these gross impurities in gold, dirt, dirty sand, gravel, and grit. The dirt washer or his apprentice, having placed the gold in a vat, washes it again and again until he has washed them away. When he is rid of them, there remain the moderate impurities in the gold, coarse sand and fine grit. He washes the gold again and again until he has washed them away. When he is rid of them, there remains the moderate impurities in gold, coarse sand and fine... Wait, did I? Oh yeah, I did that already. When he is rid of them, there remain the fine impurities in the gold, fine sand, and black dust. The dirt washer or his apprentice washes the gold again and again until he has washed them away. When he is rid of them, there remains just the gold dust. The goldsmith or his apprentice, having placed it in a crucible, blows on it again and again to blow away the dross. The gold, as long as it has not been blown on again and again to the point where the impurities are blown away, as long as it is not refined and free from dross, is not pliant, malleable, or luminous. It is brittle and not ready to be worked. But there comes a time when the goldsmith or his apprentice has blown on the gold again and again until the dross is blown away. The gold, having been blown on again and again to the point where the impurities are blown away, is then refined, free from dross, pliant, malleable, and luminous. It is not brittle and is ready to be worked. Then whatever sort of ornament he has in mind, whether a belt, an earring, a necklace, or a gold chain, the gold would serve his purpose. In the same way, there are these gross impurities in a monk, intent on heightened mind, misconduct in body, speech, and mind. These the monk, aware and able by nature, abandons, dispels, wipes out of existence. When he is rid of them, there remains in him the moderate impurities, thoughts of sensuality, ill will, and harmfulness. These he abandons, dispels, wipes out of existence. When he is rid of them, there remain in him the fine impurities, thoughts of his caste, thoughts of his home district, thoughts related to not wanting to be despised. These he abandons, dispels, and wipes out of existence. When he is rid of them, there remain only thoughts of the Dhamma. His concentration is neither calm nor refined. It has not yet attained serenity or unity, and is kept in place by fabrication of forceful restraint. But there comes a time when his mind grows steady, inwardly settled down, grows unified and concentrated. His concentration is calm and refined. He has attained serenity and unity, is no longer kept in place. Let's see, I'm just gonna... We kind of lost the dirt here. Oh, we'll go back. Huh? What did I do? What the heck? Did I? No. Huh. There we go. All right. Moving on to jealousy. Free of jealousy. All right. Oh, well, all right. That doesn't. That's quick. Nasty jealousy should be given up neither by the body nor speech, but by seeing again and again with wisdom. And what is nasty jealousy? It's when a household or other child is prospering in money, grain, silver, and gold, and slaves and dependents think, oh, may the household or other child not prosper in money, grain, silver, and gold. Or an ascetic or Brahmin receives robes, alms, field lodging, and medicines and supplies for the sick, and some other ascetic and Brahmin thinks, oh, may that ascetic or Brahmin not receive robes, alms, food, lodgings, and medicines and supplies for the sick. This is called nasty jealousy. This is bones. Ah, a heap of bones. This was said by the Buddha, the perfected one. That is what I have heard. Mendicants, one person roaming and transmigrating for an eon would amass a heap of bones the size of this Mount Vepula, if they were gathered together and not lost. The Buddha spoke this matter on this, it is said. If the bones of a single person for a single eon were gathered up, they'd make a pile the size of a mountain. So said the great seer. And this is declared to be a huge as Mount Vepula, higher than Vulture's Peak, near the mountain fold of the Magadans. But then, with right understanding, a person sees the noble truths, suffering, suffering's origin, suffering's transcendence, and the Noble Eightfold Path that leads to the stillness of suffering. After roaming on 7 times at most, that person makes an end of suffering, with the ending of all fetters. This too is a matter that has been spoken by the Blessed One. This is what I heard. Monks, I have known 2 qualities through experience: discontent with regard to skillful qualities, and unrelenting exertion. Relentlessly I exerted myself, thinking, gladly would I let the flesh and blood in my body dry up, leaving just the skin, tendons, and bones. But if I have not attained what can be reached through human firmness, human persistence, human striving, there will be no relaxing my persistence. For this heedfulness of mine was attained awakening. From this heedfulness of mine was attained the unexcelled freedom from bondage. Just looking at the chat. Gayatri, is there a nicer kind of jealousy? No, probably not. I think the nasty is just an adjective to really put forth the point. Well, I mean, especially the listed kind of jealousy. It's literally like, may you not get the basic things that you need. That's pretty rough. That's pretty bad. That's pretty nasty. All right, we'll try change, and then I think after that we'll do our meditation. A spike. Mendicants, I do not see a single thing that's quick to change as the mind. So much so that it's not easy to give a simile for how quickly the mind changes. This is, the Buddha talks about, he's talking to somebody, I think maybe it was a Brahmin or another wanderer, I don't remember. And he was talking about, well, if the body is not self, then what about the mind? And The Buddha says, if you were going to take something to be self, you should probably take the body to be self, because the body is seen to have some level of persistence, but the mind is always going here or there. Right? Bhante Silananda, who was a Sri Lankan monk who I have lots of metta for at Bhavana, he would say, mind is the fastest energy. I don't think actually. I don't know that that's actually real, because supposedly they've I don't know actually. I thought I was talking about brainwaves, but still the point is that the Buddha says that mind is really quick, and as you observe your mind in meditation, you can see that. You definitely can see that. All right. I looked up kamarato. It also means delighting in activity. Yeah, taking pleasure in work. Yeah, if you are if you're not comfortable being in quiet, being by yourself, then you will find things to do. You will do work. All right. I think we can do our meditation now. Set your body up in whatever comfortable and stable position works for you. I think everybody here has heard my guided meditations many times, so I think we'll be mostly quiet. Do a mindful scan of the body, moving from the feet up to the head. And after that, when you're ready, start to follow the breath. Remember to lay down your burdens. Try to let everything go except for following the breath. Remember whenever you're distracted away, acknowledge, practice letting go of the distraction, then return to the breath. For the remainder of the meditation, let's practice some basic metta. We'll begin by practicing some metta for ourselves, repeating some words and using visuals if you like. We'll do Mahagada Chaito Vimutti, which means release of mind, exalted release of mind. Starting with ourselves, expanding our sphere of metta out to ever larger numbers of beings. So if you like, you can visualize a sphere, a circle around you. As we say the words and develop warm-hearted feelings of friendship and goodwill, we can fill that sphere with our metta that we will eventually share. So repeat the words after me. May I find happiness. May I find peace. May I live in friendship with all beings. May I find release from suffering. When you say the words, remember, words during metta practice are not meant to be a mantra, just not something that you repeat over and over again. Try to have the honest and sincere, warm-hearted goodwill and friendliness behind those words. Saying them to yourself like you would a best friend or a close relative. May I find happiness. May I find peace. May I live in friendship with all beings. May I find release from suffering. One more time. May I find happiness. May I find peace. May I live in friendship with all beings. May I find release from suffering. Now, if you like, you can visualize your sphere expanding out like a balloon blowing up with air, expanding out to totally encompass the entirety of the building you're in. Whatever humans, animals, insects, seen and unseen beings, whatever beings may be in that building. And repeat the words. May all of us in this building find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Spread your sphere out to encompass the entirety of whatever town, village, or city you're in. Totally immersing all the beings within your sphere of metta. May all of us in this town find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Spread your sphere out to encompass whatever state, region, or province you're in. May all of us in this region find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Spread your sphere out to encompass whatever country you're in. Who knows how many millions and billions of humans, animals, insects, seen and unseen beings, encapsulating and immersing them all in your goodwill and friendliness. May all of us in this country find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Spread your sphere out to encompass the entirety of our home planet, the Earth. A pale blue dot in a sea of darkness, teeming with life, trillions of beings, the air, land, and the sea. May all of us on this planet Earth find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Spread your sphere out into the cosmos, growing ever larger, encompassing the entirety of our home galaxy, the Milky Way, hundreds of billions of stars and planets. Who knows how many beings and where they may be. May all of us in the Milky Way find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Continue to spread your sphere out into the cosmos, encapsulating the known galaxy, the whole universe. Wherever beings may be, we don't know. Other universes, dimensions, who knows? We spread our metta out to encompass all beings in the samsaric state, all siblings in suffering. May all of us everywhere find happiness. May all of us find peace. May all of us live in friendship with each other. May all of us find release from suffering. Slowly come back through the universe, back to your body, opening your eyes. Becoming aware of the room around you, your body's position in it. And as you come out of the meditation, we'll read some Dhammapada, do our final business, share merit, and close out for the night. So, violence. All tremble at violence, all fear death. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill nor cause another to kill. All tremble at violence. Life is dear to all. Putting oneself in the place of another, one should not kill nor cause another to kill. One who, while himself seeking happiness, oppresses with violence other beings who also desire happiness, will not attain happiness thereafter. One who, while himself seeking happiness, does not oppress with violence other beings who also desire happiness, will find happiness hereafter. Speak not harshly to anyone, for those thus spoken to might retort. Indeed, angry speech hurts, and retaliation may overtake you. If, like a broken gong, you silence yourself, you have approached Nibbana, for vindictiveness is no longer in you. Just as a cowherd drives the cattle to pasture with a staff, so do old age and death drive the life force of beings from existence to existence. When the fool commits evil deeds, he does not realize their evil nature. The witless man is tormented by his own deeds, like one burnt by fire. He who inflicts violence on those who are unarmed and offends those who are inoffensive will soon come upon one of these 10 states: sharp pain or disaster, bodily injury, serious illness or derangement of mind, trouble from the government or grave charges, loss of relatives or loss of wealth, or houses destroyed by ravaging fire. Upon dissolution of the body, that ignorant man is born in hell. Neither going about naked, nor matted locks, nor filth, nor fasting, nor lying on the ground, nor smearing oneself with ashes and dust, nor sitting on the heels, can purify a mortal who has not overcome doubt. Even though he be well attired, yet if he is poised, calm, controlled, and established in the holy life, having set aside violence towards all beings, he truly is a holy man, a renunciant, a monk. Only rare is there a man in the world who, restrained by modesty, avoids reproach, as a thoroughbred horse avoids the whip. Like a thoroughbred horse touched by the whip, be strenuous, be filled with spiritual yearning, by faith and moral purity, by effort and meditation, by investigation of the truth, by beings rich in knowledge and virtue, and by being mindful, destroy this unlimited suffering. Irrigators regulate the waters, fletchers straighten arrow shafts, carpenters shape wood, and the good control themselves. All right, friends. So if you are joining for the first time and you'd like to find out more about myself and the organization I'm building, Maggasekha, you can go to the website, Maggasekha.org. This is my headquarters. Everything to do with me, from new events, new activities, new productions like articles, videos, etc., my travels, all of that, retreats, like next weekend is a retreat, all of that can be found on the website, Maggasekha.org, Maggasekha.org. If you like, you can also join us on the Discord community, the Maggasekha Discord community, which is almost about 9 years old now. If you'd like to read suttas together and share the Dhamma with each other, you can send an email from the website and ask for an invite, and you can get an invite to join us. We'll share merit. Dukkha patta chane dukkha, baya patta chane baya, soka patta chane soka, hantu sabbe pipaniyo, etavata chamehi, sampatam punya sampatang, sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya, akasatta chabumata deva naga mahiddhika, punyang tang anumoditva charang rakantu sasanang. May the suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit of ours that we've thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas, nagas, and yakas of mighty power, may they share in this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddhist dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, friends, we have come to the end of another Dhammapalooza. Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy and at ease. Practice well and be well, and may you have a spiritually successful and peaceful practice until we meet again, which could be tomorrow morning for a morning monastery experience, or next Saturday on Insight Timer, next Sunday in the Discord for reading suttas, or if I'm alive, maybe next Monday for another Dhammapalooza. Have a good week.